celebration of Enterprise Week, we at Women in Business wanted to shine a spotlight and just hear from a couple of our members about their experience as entrepreneurs, about some of the challenges they faced, and also about some of the top tips that they can share with you. So we'll be hearing from a couple of different entrepreneurs. Sadly, we can't hear from everyone, all of our members in Women in Business, but we hope that you find this useful. And I'm delighted that Vivian McKinnon of Hydroease is joining me this morning just for really quick fire questions, just to hear about Vivian's experience as an entrepreneur, and hopefully you watching this will find this really useful. So thank you so much, Vivian, for taking a bit of time to have a chat with me. Do you want to quickly just introduce yourself and tell us a bit more about Hydroease and also the different business ventures that you have? Because I know you're a wellness consultant, you've got a whole variety of things that you do.
Yeah. So thank you very much for having me along. I was really delighted when you asked. I own Hydroease, which is the flotation centre in Northern Ireland. We're the only dedicated flotation centre. But I also have developed a programme called RAFT, which is reconnection and flotation therapy. So I work with people who have maybe become disconnected from themselves through experiences. That could be bullying within the workplace, it could be adverse childhood experiences, it could be relationship breakup, it could be something to do with their own children. I also, wellness consultant, I'm actually in the middle of rebranding. I think for a lot of my working life, I've gone under a banner of a title of something. So I'm rebranding the whole thing as Vivian McKinnon, and that is it. So I'm actually claiming my name. And I am the regional coordinator for Northern Ireland for Smart Recovery. So Smart Recovery is an approach for addiction recovery from any kind of addictive behaviour, whether that's shopping, whether it's gambling, whether it's cocaine, alcohol. It's a peer support group, and offering really cool work, I think. We also do, what else am I involved in? I'm on the board for PIPS, which is a suicide charity in Northern Ireland. I'm a director for Your Holistic Academy, which is an online platform for training for bringing together the corporate and the holistic world to create that fusion, to really try and create synergies between both so they're not completely separate. We've also just registered, myself and 4 other colleagues within the float industry, the Float Tank Association for the UK and the Republic of Ireland. So that's to get some governance around the float industry, because the things that have happened with COVID, we have no governing body and we have nobody to kind of fight on our behalf. So so I took it upon myself to get together with some friends and put that together.
That's amazing. That's one thing I guess that can actually come from COVID, which I'll go on to actually shortly. But you're incredibly busy, Vivian. I don't know how you get any free time as well. And I think that's probably, why you've done so much and why you're so successful, because you're just constantly finding new ways to branch out and new kind of avenues to go to. So what do you think it does take to become an entrepreneur?
Oh, now that's the $1 million question, Nikki. I think, for some people can become a successful entrepreneur solely on finance. Some people can become a successful entrepreneur solely on knowledge. But I think the real true root of an entrepreneur is having a clearly defined vision, having a true purpose and an intention for what it is you want to do. Doesn't necessarily have to be goals, but I think it does have to be a business plan. It does have to be a sit down and, what is it we're going to do? But all of that comes from a passion. So I think it's definitely about having a passion, having a purpose, and having an intention for that passion and purpose.
Yeah, and that's clear in what you do as well, and how many people that you help actually through the different kind of ways, from flotation to actually the holistic side and well-being, and the different support areas that you have as well, which is amazing. And what do you think is the top tip though that you would give to someone as an entrepreneur? What do you think is the key thing?
Probably just approach everything with an open mind. Be comfortable being uncomfortable, and never think you have all the answers. Be prepared to be challenged, but also just give up the need to always be right. Sometimes we get good information, but in our head we're going, No, it needs to be like this. So I suppose just giving up the need to always be right and keep that flexibility of your thought, because you just never know. Having that open mind, someone might say something that allows your unconscious mind to go, that's a great, and what we could do, and it just allows you to, you know, to take that suggestion to another level.
Yeah, and I mean that's probably hard, is like so many entrepreneurs will fail because it's your baby. It's like you have started this and you know exactly what you want. So if you get feedback, sometimes it's like, oh, but this is someone else, you know, you're so invested. So yeah, no, I think that's definitely true. And I know you kind of mentioned this when you were talking about the governing bodies, but can you just tell us a little bit about how COVID-19 has affected your business? I'm sure you get this all the time, because it has been a crazy 2020.
That's it. And in the beginning, we closed down the same as everybody else, you know, in the first lockdown, because we were very aware that, you know, nobody knew what this was, nobody knew where it was going, where it was heading, what was, and we were very much all in it together. What's happened this time is the circuit breaker has to be, you know, around people who offer close contact services, and the various different categorizations that they gave, we felt we didn't fit into that. Yeah. So, you know, to start with, I was going, oh no, we don't fit in here. And again, went into that mindset of, oh, what do we do? What do we do? And every time I do that, it's almost like something else that kicks in and is like, right, where's the opportunity? Where's the opportunity in this? So the opportunity for me in this was to start working with, I'm working with an MP, I have a legal representation, I'm now working with the executive to get flotation categorised. So for me, in terms of a business, it's been hugely beneficial, because it's enabled me to open up that conversation at a higher level around what we're offering in Hydro Ease, not just from the flotation side, but from the mental health interventions that we offer as well, particularly for trauma. But in terms of how it's impacted the business, Nikki, we're busier than ever, because people are now realising the importance of really keeping themselves in the moment. No, the unknown is a scary place for a lot of people, and especially people who used to being in control and who are used to operating at a certain level and having routine and having structure, and all of a sudden all of that's gone, and that can take them back to an experience that they've maybe never even thought about previously, that could be impacting the reason why they're so driven and the reason why they're so organised and strategic. So for us, it means, you know, people who are having their mental health compromised are looking at innovative ways of really consolidating themselves within themselves. So yeah, we're busier than ever, and people coming forward now to look at, you know, strategies for various different organisations and government bodies within Northern Ireland that are coming and saying, you know, what you're doing looks really interesting, could you kind of give us a plan of what you think you could do for us so we can take it to that next level? So yeah, it's not been without its challenges, but we've turned them all around. So you give me a challenge and I'll show you an opportunity.
Yeah, which is
that's the thing about. That's it.
Which is actually incredible to see something as challenging as that, and not even, you know, maybe not having business for a while, and then but actually going, no, you know, there's more opportunities here. And I think you're completely right. I think that this will have a huge impact on mental health, and I think finding new ways, and organizations, it's a good thing actually for organizations now going, we need to do, what more can we do to help people? So it's amazing, and congratulations on being so busy. I'm sure you're looking forward to a Christmas rest, which isn't far away.
And you know, the thing is, Nikki, I still very much, you know, I take a Monday off. That, like, it's Monday that we're doing this. I take a Monday off because in the morning I take my son to school, and then I have from 9 o'clock until I pick him up at 2 o'clock, just to sit at home, to do things like this, to look at, you know, I go for a walk with the dog, I take some time out for myself. Monday afternoon, pick Sonny up from school. We used to go for like a hot chocolate, or we'd go to, you know, swimming or something like that. Now we're coming back to the house and we're either watching a movie, or we're doing colouring in, or we're just catching up on stuff. So, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I am at it full pelt. I mean, I drop Sonny at school every morning because that's important to me. It's important for me to be there, the one that drops him off. So I drop him off Monday to Friday. I pick him up on a Monday. My husband picks him up on a Friday. But it means that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like I can be sitting sometimes till 9 o'clock at night. And people talk about a work-life balance. And for me, that work-life balance is about getting in the work that you want to be done, but not compromising your family life or not compromising other things, and creating that balance. It's like, well, if I'm doing this here, then I'll balance it out by doing this here. So while I might look like I'm really busy, and I am really busy, I still remember that, you know, in order to fulfill the commitments that I've given, and in order to continue to be operating at my best, I need to remember that I come before any of that. So it's about what keeps me well.
Yeah, no, I think that's so true. And it's so nice that you actually do that. So thank you as well. This is your Monday off. So thank you so much for doing that. And it'll be good whenever you can get back to your hot chocolate or hot drink runs. So the local cafes and everything will be opening up next week, which is great. So we'll be able to support local as well. And whenever you're talking, obviously, that you see challenges and you just take them as opportunities, do you think COVID was your biggest challenge, or do you think there's been something that you can really see as being like when you were starting up or when you were trying to make people aware about flotation? You know, what's been your biggest challenge?
My biggest challenge has been people not understanding what we do, really. And a lot of people, you know, I remember my first float and coming out and being so blown away by it, and just like not knowing, like just in that moment being so bewildered and so inspired and so impacted by the whole thing, and not knowing, like coming out and being and saying to the woman, oh my goodness, that was absolutely amazing, like tell me why, what happened there and why does it work? And she said, yeah, it's a lovely spa treatment. And I was like, that's not a spa treatment, that is not a spa treatment. What you have here is a mental health intervention. And I could see right away the treatment potential in this experience that I just had. So for me, I think that has been the biggest challenge. COVID has been an opportunity for me. It's been an opportunity to have these conversations. So because we've been challenged by other people who obviously don't understand what we're doing, who've maybe phoned environmental health or these other organisations, these other departments, that have then resulted in them contacting us, which has resulted in me kind of going back and saying, well, clearly define where we fit into this legislation, where we fit into this categorisation. And they couldn't do that, which gave me an opportunity to speak to people at a higher level, and they couldn't do that, which gave me an opportunity to bring on an MP and then to send a letter. So we are currently liaising with Robin Swan. I just had an email back from Marlon Foster's office. So really taking it to the top and getting flotation on an agenda. We were spoken about at the Health Committee meeting on the 5th of November. So really open up that conversation at a higher level, because that for me has been the challenge. And I think until people realise the research, the evidence, the effectiveness of flotation in terms of trauma recovery, especially for a country that has the highest rate for trauma, it just goes without saying. So that for me has been my biggest challenge, is getting people to fully understand what we do and why flotation is so beneficial in our modern day, because our modern life is so frenetic that
Yeah, no, it is so true. And I actually know a couple of people that have tried the flotation, and I know that it's hard to even put into words whenever they're talking about the experience of it. It's hard to even put into words just how beneficial it can be. So it is really something I think anyone that's watching this should definitely try out, because it can make such a huge impact. And I'm just going to head on to the final question now. So what do you think the future does hold for you and for your business? Going to keep growing?
I think the future is really exciting. Yeah, I think the future is really exciting. I think I've hit of lots of opportunities to change the way people heal and the way people look at their mental health. And I think we have a huge opportunity to become part of that. And I suppose when you've had an event that is outside what we would term to be normal human experience, it can really question to the core of you who you are. And I think we provide we hold a beautiful space for people to be able to do that. And I just think there's huge potential in what we're doing to really grow. But I think there's been potential to grow for the last couple of years, but I've boxed very clever. I've made sure that everything I do, that when I first opened Hydroease, I'd done a business plan, but I had a dream and a passion, and I opened the doors and expected to open the doors, and there would be people queuing up like, we've been waiting for you to open, and it was far from it. So I think now that I'm further down the line of entrepreneurship, and I'm like, need and passion. That can get you going to start with, and that's the momentum behind everything. But yeah, it's just looking and making sure, because I was going to expand just before COVID hit, and something was just telling me, no, just hang on, just wait. Now, had I have done that, I would have took out a huge financial commitment that I now wouldn't be able to meet. So yeah, I think there's watch this space. I'm excited about the future for Hydroease and for me personally.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it is true. It just shows you there. You have to really trust your gut as well, don't you? You know, it's trusting your gut, finding your own balance, and, you know, really seeing those opportunities whenever there are challenges. So thank you so much, Vivian. And have to make sure that we try to include some of your details here so that people can all, you know, check this out. Especially, you know, obviously it's not a spa treatment. It is to support people, but it is a great opportunity as, you know, we are going into 2021. We're kind of approaching the end and Christmas, to, you know, whenever you're thinking about your loved ones, to maybe think if anyone could benefit from this, definitely look at that now.
And that's it. And it's the opportunity to de-stress. You know, stress is the biggest killer. Stress is the biggest cause of things like heart disease, stroke, you know, cancers. It's the biggest cause of chronic pain when the body's put into that stress. And, you know, as we were saying about the gut, you know, the gut is like, it's the sixth sense. But there's so much evidence now about the parasympathetic system. So that's the rest and digest mode. And a lot of that starts in your gut. It starts with the gut microbiome. It starts with the messages that are going up and down to the brain. So when your gut is really, you know, a lot of people that we would work with as well have things like IBS, and that's all stress related. So I think our lives are just getting more and more stressful because we have so much technology, so much convenience, so much pressure, that we could all benefit from allowing that physical and mental de-stress and reset, at least, you know, on a monthly basis going forward.
Definitely. No, thank you so much. And I'm excited to see what the future does hold for you, but we really appreciate you taking the time and, you know, being part of Women in Business as well. We would love to see what happens with everyone's business. So thank you very much. And I will put some details up for everyone to kind of follow up as well. So that's great. Thank you so much, Vivian.